What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about how the Nordic countries dominate winter warfare. So, here in the United States, we like to think that our military is the best at everything. And the truth is, we don't know anything about fighting in the snow and the cold and the crazy winter conditions that you guys have in the Nordic countries. So today, I want to learn more about what makes Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark the best at winter warfare. So let's take a look.
In this video, we'll have a look at how the Nordic nations became masters of winter warfare, their tactics, gear, and how attacking any of them in winter would be a very bad idea.
Oh my god. What is this guy doing? Look at this guy! Is this what you guys are doing to train? Is this a real thing? Like breaking through the snow and the ice and going in the water? And he's got skis as well. What is happening here? I don't know, but I'm already kind of impressed at the lengths that apparently Nordic countries' militaries that you're willing to go to train for this.
The Nordic nations are subjected to some of the harshest winter conditions on the planet, characterized by long periods of darkness, heavy snowfall, and temperatures frequently plunging -20 below freezing. This environment has profoundly influenced their military strategies, prompting a focus on specialized training, equipment, and tactics tailored for winter warfare.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. Here in the US, it only gets so cold. Like, it's not that bad. Even winter is not that bad here. Especially when you compare it to, like, way further north, like in the Nordic countries. Like, yeah, it's unbelievable to me. The winter and the cold and the darkness and the conditions you guys live in. So, of course, you're gonna be the best at this kind of thing. It's literally like your home, and you train in the conditions that you live in.
Their expertise in operating under these challenges yields significant operational advantages, underscoring the importance of mastering one of nature's most difficult adversaries. And within NATO, this region is the home of the expertise in winter warfare.
And the important thing is, I think, for us Americans to put our ego aside, realize we're not the best at everything, and try to learn from what these Nordic countries are doing. Like, that's the best thing that we can do is use this information to make ourselves better and realize that we can improve, that we're not the best.
To understand the origins of the winter warfare expertise of Norway, Finland, Sweden, and to some extent Denmark, we must delve into their historical context.
Okay.
The Nordic region has always been characterized by its harsh and unforgiving climate. This environment shaped the military strategies of these countries, notably their use of ski troops, ambush tactics, and proficiency in engaging enemies under extreme conditions.
This is already looking crazy with all the snow vehicles and snowmobiles and skis and goggles, and it's actually like, I know this is like very serious, but it's like also very cool.
The effectiveness of these strategies is prominently displayed in several historical episodes. The Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union in 1939 is a standout example of Nordic military ingenuity in winter warfare. Despite being outnumbered, Finnish forces effectively utilized their intimate knowledge of the local terrain and extreme winter conditions to their advantage. They employed ambush tactics and specialized ski troops, ambushing Soviet troops from well-camouflaged positions.
No freaking way. This is amazing. Soldiers on skis. I can't ever get used to that. Snow soldiers on skis with guns on skis in the snow. It's just it's so crazy, but it's awesome. And yeah, this is like a lot of history that here in the United States we never hear about. They don't teach us about how Finland defeated this Russians and with winter snow tactics. And obviously you guys, all the Nordic countries probably have a long history of war and conflicts in these conditions. So you guys have all this experience with this.
And evading negative engagements by utilizing skis and fast movement in the deep snow.
Right.
Finland's army and vast reserve pool is regularly trained in these tactics to this very day, and the Jaeger units of the Finnish defense forces are frighteningly good at winter warfare. Finland's Moti tactics essentially meant that small, agile groups of Jaegers would ski around the roads where the Soviets were moving, completely surround the enemy, and then strike hard from all sides.
Oh my God.
My
You have to be stupid to try to like fight Nordic countries in the winter. Like, just foolish.
good Finnish friend Thomas joins me today to talk about the Hakkapeliitta cavalry, which essentially used the same Moti-style tactics that the Finnish army would later adopt.
Oh.
Thanks, Max. The Finnish Hakkapeliitta cavalry were a formidable force in the Swedish army during the 17th century,
What?
renowned for their fierce combat skills and strategic use of the harsh Nordic winter conditions to their advantage.
This is amazing.
Mounted on their sturdy and resilient Finnish horses, known for their ability to endure cold weather, the Hakkapeliitta were expertly skilled in hit-and-run tactics and ambushes during the snowy months.
I'm hearing a lot about like ambushes and the tactics and being able to move quickly on snow. And I didn't even know you could use horses for this too. This is obviously like a little while back in history, but it's pretty amazing.
They utilized the landscape's natural obstacles, such as thick snow and ice, which were challenging for less winter-hardened troops to navigate.
Yes.
A lot of the same tactics would later be used by the Finnish army as it fought against the Soviet Union.
Wow.
The heritage of the Finnish army lies in its light cavalry roots. Norway, on the other hand, has a long history of being the underdog in war.
Huh.
While countries like France, Denmark, Belgium, and Holland fell to the Germans in a matter of weeks, Norwegian resistance against the Germans held up for the longest out of all Western European nations, mainly due to clever hit and run tactics in the still snow-covered terrain up until June 1940.
Wow, I love that. Not like world wars and death, and I don't like that, but I love the idea of like a smaller country with maybe less manpower or resources utilizing intelligence and tactics and strategy to defeat like a bigger opponent, like Norway did. I think this is just the coolest thing ever. The response and the resistance that this was, and so intelligently thought out.
Norway was first to find the South Pole, and in doing so trialed some of the most enduring winter gear in world history.
Huh.
The
Right.
thermal underwear used in most NATO nations today are copies of the same technology that Roald Amundsen used on his journey to the South Pole in 1911.
Really?
In World War II, the Germans would call Norway's National Guard ski troops Black Devils, as they would
My
hound
God.
the Germans from atop mountains and valleys throughout the entire war.
You know when you have like a nickname, people are literally scared of you during winter combat. You know that says a lot.
The sabotage of the Vemork heavy water facility in 1943 was instrumental in halting Germany's atomic ambitions and was made possible by the country's harsh winter conditions, where a group of Norwegian resistance fighters traversed some of the roughest terrain in the world, over the Hardangervidda in midwinter in order to get
wow.
to the Vemork facility and sabotage the heavy water operation.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like Norway and other Nordic countries have actually accomplished a lot purely based on the fact that you guys are better at navigating your terrain like this, snow, ice, cold condition. Like, you guys like I said at the beginning, like this is your home for one thing. You've lived this, so it's actually very foolish that anybody tried to like fight Norway on its home turf like this, um, and totally got taken advantage of.
To put it bluntly, Norway's winter warfare heritage essentially stopped Hitler's plans for creating a nuclear bomb well before the Allies did the same. The focus on
Yeah.
winter warfare for Sweden was never as army-wide as in Finland and Norway, and is often characterized by a much more motorized variation of winter warfare.
Okay.
Quickly put, Sweden is the creator of the most effective tracked snow vehicles in the world, and this is used
Really?
to its fullest extent in its army. The
It makes sense. Like, it's that Norway, Sweden, Finland have made a lot of contributions to winter warfare technology, whether it's the vehicles or the underwear or whatever.
Swedish armed forces maintain elite units specialized in Arctic warfare, such as the Norrbotten Dragoon Regiment, which is known for its extensive training in harsh winter conditions and its vital roles in securing Sweden's northern territories.
What? It's just so crazy. What, like, this is, it's just so not what you see in the United States. Like, people with guns on skis, like in the snow. Like, it seems like ridiculously hard and uncomfortable. And I don't know, I have a lot of respect for what you guys like go through and mastering the elements in a sense.
This regiment has become a benchmark for other military units in winter warfare proficiency and is a welcome addition to NATO's northern flank, along with their Norwegian and Finnish counterparts.
Cool.
Sweden is also the home of the models of vehicles that makes the Nordic nations' proficiency in winter warfare so great, evident in the BV series of all-terrain vehicles.
Oh, wow.
Models like the BV 206 and 410 are engineered specifically for efficient maneuvering through snow and ice.
Yeah, I've never seen vehicles that look anything like this. They're just tanks meant for snow and ice. That's really cool.
Providing Sweden with enhanced operational capabilities during winter months. The BV series is also adopted heavily in Finland and Norway, and the tactic is often that one of these tracked vehicles will pull a troop of ski Jaegers behind it in order to ease transportation in snow.
What?
Naturally, Denmark
So it's like common for tanks to pull troops behind them? Really?
Naturally, Denmark isn't to the same level in winter warfare as the other three nations, on account of our flat and mainly wet nation. However, there are some key specialities in the Danish military too.
Okay.
The Danish Sirius dog sled patrol epitomizes another aspect of Nordic winter warfare, which is different to that of the other three nations.
Okay.
This elite unit combines traditional skills with modern military roles for long-range patrols in Greenland.
What? I kind of like how each country specifically has like its own unique sort of technology and strategies and inventions, and that's really cool to see how each Nordic country has kind of paved its own way of conquering the winter conditions.
Where extreme weather conditions prevail, their use of dog sleds facilitates rapid movement over difficult terrain, embodying a unique fusion of heritage and military efficiency.
Dog
and in
sled.
the Danish military, this unit has achieved a reputation as some of the hardest soldiers that the country has to offer.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's like you don't see dog sleds in the US. So it's like kind of cool to see that's actually a serious military thing.
Norway plays a crucial role in enhancing NATO's winter warfare capabilities through exercises such as Cold Response, Nordic Response, and Special Operations training for, among others, British and
Sure.
American Special Forces.
Sure, right. So we've talked about the sort of the technology, the history, the strategies, and this is talking about like the training, which I think is going to be really cool to hear about, the training that you guys do.
This large-scale military exercise, often involving thousands of troops from NATO allies, is designed to test their ability to operate cohesively in extreme winter conditions.
Wow.
Participants engage in realistic scenarios related to combat and survival practices. Further,
So Norway and maybe other countries, Nordic countries, actually host the training for all sorts of NATO countries to come do the winter warfare training. So everyone from around the world kind of comes to Norway and maybe the other Nordic countries too to do this kind of training, which is really cool.
They're refining their ability to manage joint operations in harsh climates. If you've ever been in Norway to train with the Norwegians, you'll likely have fond memories of being asked to take a plunge into a freezing lake in full gear in order to condition your body to what that would be like. Personally, I did this in the 90s, and I think I'm still freezing in some of my toes after the experience.
Is that really necessary? That's a real thing? Having to jump into the freezing water? God, that would suck. But it's kind of like a rite of passage, I suppose.
The Norwegians also have a proud heritage of using what they call NATO planks as skis, which are essentially skis that you strap onto your military boots to become extra mobile at short notice.
What?
Nordic military training programs place a strong emphasis on adaptability in extremely cold conditions, honing techniques for managing body heat while ensuring stealth. Soldiers undergo rigorous training in skiing, navigating snow-covered terrains, and constructing snow shelters, skills that allow them to optimize the tactical advantages winter weather can provide.
Let's just be honest here. You have to have so much more skill and so much more knowledge to operate in these conditions. Like, training here in the US, it's the military, it's difficult, but adding the snow and the cold, having to learn how to survive, to create heat, to move on the snow, it's so much more difficult.
Whole groups of soldiers from other nations are often placed in nature with some local guides and are shown how to survive for a prolonged period in the Arctic conditions of Norway's northernmost counties. Most NATO nations send their special forces to Norway to train with Norway's famed special operations teams.
Wow.
And both American and British soldiers tell me that their training in Norway is some of the hardest they ever have to go through.
That makes sense to me. This looks incredibly difficult, especially for Americans. Like, we don't experience anything like this.
The newly opened NATO Amphibious Warfare Center in Sørreisa, Norway, represents a significant advancement in the alliance's strategic posture within the Arctic region. This specialized facility is designed explicitly for training NATO personnel, particularly from the United States, United Kingdom, and the Netherlands, in amphibious operations under Arctic conditions.
That makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm actually very glad to see that the United States is utilizing like Nordic countries, I think in this example Norway, to train for this kind of thing. Like, because like I said, we don't know anything about this.
Center's establishment is a direct response to increasing geopolitical tensions in the area, particularly concerning Russia's military activities in the Arctic, including its proximity to Norway's border and the key port of Murmansk. By providing a dedicated space for amphibious assault training, the center will enhance joint operational readiness and interoperability among NATO allies. This is crucial as Arctic warfare demands unique skills and tactics.
This is just so cool. Like, I know it's serious, but this is so cool. Seeing like just the background, like the snow, the tanks, the everything. Like, this is badass.
Distinct from traditional cold weather operations, the center aims to create a comprehensive training environment that will not only prepare allied forces for potential conflict scenarios, but also promote collaboration in addressing emerging security challenges in the region. Moreover, Sørreisa's strategic location enhances its role as a NATO hub, pivotal for both air operations and prospective amphibious campaigns.
That's cool. So it sounds like northern Norway has created like this big NATO training hub for training in these conditions. Very cool.
The facility is expected to conduct joint exercises that simulate real-world scenarios, thereby equipping forces with the necessary experience to respond effectively in crisis situations. As NATO continues to adapt to the evolving security landscape, this Arctic Amphibious Warfare Center will serve as a cornerstone for strengthening collective defense capabilities and ensuring the alliance's readiness to operate in one of the world's most challenging environments.
And, you know, God forbid if there was anything that happened with like Russia, as far north as Russia is, being able to wage combat and, you know, be effective in these kinds of conditions when it comes to fighting Russia, if God forbid, this is like maybe more important than ever, given the, you know, what's going on in the world today.
In conclusion, the Nordic countries have turned the harsh challenges of their winter landscapes into formidable advantages in military strategy. From the historical prowess of Finland's winter war to Norway's savvy World War II resistance operations and Sweden's specialized winter units, these nations have developed a mastery of winter warfare that stands unparalleled.
No kidding. Oh my God. This was really, really cool. I really didn't know any of this was going on in the Nordic countries. I know you guys are cold, that you have militaries, but this just gave me such a better idea of like the history of the military in these different countries and what's going on right now and the technology and the training. And it's very obvious to me why Nordic countries like Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, like are the best in the world at this kind of stuff. It makes a lot of sense, and it's really very valuable. And it's actually good to hear that the United States is traveling to these areas to do training and learn about this, because this is definitely not our specialty at all. So this was really, really cool. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on just the winter warfare dominance of the Nordic countries and the stuff that we learned here today. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.